While Anthropic's latest AI models stay locked behind United States export restrictions, Asian AI startups have already reverse-engineered the blueprint and launched competing versions that work just as well, sometimes better. It's not industrial espionage or hacking. It's just smarter competition playing out in real time, right in front of us. And it's raising uncomfortable questions about whether export controls actually work anymore in a world where brilliant engineers exist everywhere. Here's the shocking part. The export ban that was supposed to keep American AI dominance in check has actually accelerated a global race that nobody predicted, and the speed is startling. China, South Korea, Singapore, and Japan have their own thriving AI ecosystems with brilliant engineers, plenty of venture funding, and zero patience for waiting around. They're building at scale right now, shipping models that compete directly with the best America has to offer. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what these Asian startups have launched, why Anthropic's export ban created this incredible opening in the first place, and what it means when multiple countries can suddenly produce world-class AI models that match or rival American capabilities at a fraction of the cost. The uncomfortable truth. You can't actually stop innovation through restrictions and bans. You just change where it happens and who benefits. Here's what's unfolding and why it matters for the future of AI. To understand why Asian startups are suddenly shipping Claude competitors, you need to know what Anthropic is and why Washington locked it down. Anthropic is one of the world's leading AI safety companies, founded by former OpenAI researchers who built Claude, a massive language model that competes with OpenAI's GPT-4 and Google's Gemini. Claude is genuinely impressive. It reasons more carefully, it's transparent about limitations, and it's become the top choice for developers who prioritize safety over raw speed. In early 2026, the United States Department of Commerce implemented export controls on advanced AI models, including Claude. The goal was explicit: slow China's AI development and maintain American technological dominance. It sounds logical: keep the best technology for yourself, deny it to rivals. But it contains a fatal flaw. The moment you announce nobody else can have this, you've told the entire world this is incredibly valuable. And when something becomes incredibly valuable and forbidden, engineers everywhere start building their own version. Think of it this way: imagine America said nobody else gets electricity. What would the world do? Build their own electrical grid. It's the same with AI. Once the best model became unavailable, entire countries mobilized their engineers to recreate it using published research, observable behavior, and fundamental principles. The export ban didn't slow down the competition, it accelerated it. These mythos-like models from Asia are built using the exact same fundamental architecture that makes Claude powerful. They are transformer-based language models. If Claude is a master chess player, these competitors are engineers who studied the playbook and built their own version through careful iteration. The training process is nearly identical: massive amounts of internet text, billions of examples of what comes next, and sophisticated algorithms that teach the model to understand context, reasoning, and nuance. But here's what's crucial: these startups don't need to copy code or steal secrets. They can learn from published research papers, analyze how Claude behaves in public, study its outputs, and figure out the architecture underneath. It's reverse engineering through observation. The result: models that behave almost identically to Claude because they are built on identical foundational principles. They understand context and reasoning the same way. Reports suggest they're already competitive on benchmark tests, standardized exams that measure AI intelligence. Some are actually winning on benchmarks. The technical achievement is real. These aren't knockoffs or cheaper approximations. They are legitimate world-class models built from scratch by Asian engineers who understood the underlying principles and executed flawlessly. You don't need to steal the formula for Coca-Cola. You just need to understand the principles of flavor chemistry and execute better. That's exactly what happened here. These are genuinely good AI models built by genuinely smart people, which is why they are winning. So which Asian startups are making waves? The biggest names are coming from South Korea, Singapore, and China. South Korean startup DeepCog announced Helix, their Claude equivalent, built entirely by Korean engineers using Korean compute. Singapore's startup Luminous released their model optimized for Southeast Asian languages, a market Claude ignores. And Alibaba's research division shipped their own models, optimized for Mandarin, Cantonese, and Chinese business contexts. These aren't knockoffs. Each has distinct advantages. Helix understands Korean technical documentation, Korean naming conventions, and Korean coding patterns. It's genuinely better at Korean software development than Claude is. Luminous specializes in Southeast Asian languages that get neglected by Western AI companies. Alibaba's models understand Chinese business practices, Chinese regulations, and the Chinese internet in ways Claude never will. The business model is genius. Helix costs 40% less per API call than Claude. Luminous offers aggressive pricing for Southeast Asian startups. Alibaba basically gives their models free to developers using Alibaba Cloud. From a pure economics perspective, they're not just competing, they are winning. They offer better localization, lower prices, and models that actually understand local context. That's a combination Anthropic wasn't prepared for. These startups shipped products that are technically excellent and commercially smarter than Claude in their home markets. They identified the exact gap Anthropic created through its export restrictions and filled it perfectly. Let's compare these models directly to Claude. On general intelligence benchmarks, the latest versions of these Asian models score within 5–10 percentage points of Claude. That's genuinely close on tests that measure reasoning, language understanding, and problem solving. On coding, Helix actually outperforms Claude for Korean language code. On safety features and reducing harmful outputs, most match Claude because they used similar alignment techniques during training. The real differences are regional. Claude is optimized for English-speaking developers and English language tasks. These models are optimized for their home regions. A Korean developer using Helix understands Korean libraries better, recognizes Korean software patterns, and understands Korean context that Claude misses. A Southeast Asian startup using Luminous gets cultural awareness Claude doesn't have. A Chinese enterprise using Alibaba's models operates within Chinese regulations and understands Chinese business norms. There's also geopolitical trust. Claude is American, controlled by American engineers, using American servers, following American policies. For enterprises handling sensitive data, knowing your AI model runs within your own country's borders is actually meaningful. For some governments, it's mandatory. For businesses in China especially, using an American AI model carries risk and uncertainty. Then there's price. Claude's API costs are standard globally. These Asian models often cost significantly less. Factor in regional advantages, local optimization, better language support, and lower cost. Claude isn't automatically the best choice anymore. So what's the actual impact here? The obvious story is that Anthropic loses market share in Asia. The bigger story is that this proves the export ban didn't work. The United States government thought restricting Claude would slow China's AI development. Instead, it accidentally unified the entire Asian tech sector around one goal: build our own Claude. It's like telling competitors you can't play our sport and watching them build their own league instead. They did. It worked, but zoom out further. This is a fundamental change in how global AI development happens. For years, the pattern was American breakthrough, global catch-up. Now we're seeing parallel innovation. The time between cutting edge and reasonably competitive has shrunk from years to months. That's a different world. By the time one country develops something revolutionary, competitors in 3 other countries are building their own versions simultaneously. For ordinary users and developers, this is great news. More competition means better models, lower prices, better language support, and genuine choice. Developers in Asia get tools built for Asia. The global AI market finally became truly global instead of American products sold everywhere. Prices will drop, features will improve, localization will happen faster. The uncomfortable part for America. This is proof that technological dominance through restriction doesn't work. You can't outlaw innovation. You can only lose the race by trying. Engineers exist everywhere. Research is open. Progress is inevitable. Here's what to watch over the next 6 months. First, watch the speed of improvement. These models already match Claude on many benchmarks. How much better will they be by end of 2026? Second, watch pricing wars. As these startups mature, they'll undercut Claude even more aggressively. Anthropic will have to choose lower prices or double down on premium features. Third, watch for consolidation. Not all these startups will survive. Alibaba, with its massive resources, will likely dominate China. The question is which Korean and Southeast Asian models emerge as real long-term winners. Fourth, and this is critical, watch geopolitics. The United States government is watching too. Expect more export restrictions coming, but we've already learned those don't work. Expect more government support for American AI companies to keep them ahead. Expect trade tensions. Expect countries to choose AI suppliers based on politics, not pure quality. Fifth, if you're a developer, test these models. Try Helix, Luminous, Alibaba's offerings. See if they work for your use case. The best tool might not be Claude anymore. It might be whichever Asian model is optimized for your region and your specific problem. That's the revolution, not just that Asian AI caught up, but that you finally have genuine choice in world-class tools. And sixth, this matters because it's the first real sign that the American AI dominance narrative is already obsolete. Here's what this all means. Export controls don't work. Innovation isn't something you lock away. It's something that happens when smart people have the blueprint and access to resources. Both exist in abundance across Asia. The United States government thought it could keep Claude exclusive. Instead, it accidentally accelerated a global race, producing excellent competing models in multiple countries. For Anthropic, this is a wake-up call. Safety and engineering excellence don't automatically win global markets when real competitors exist. For the United States government, this signals that the strategy needs rethinking. For everyone else, this is good news. The world now has multiple world-class AI models. Developers in Asia have better, cheaper, locally optimized tools. Developers everywhere have genuine choice. The AI market is becoming competitive in a healthy way that drives better products, faster innovation, and lower costs. In a year, this won't be a story about Asian startups copying America. It'll just be global AI development. That's actually the healthiest outcome for everyone. The days of one country dominating AI are over. The age of distributed, competitive, region-specific AI is beginning. And that's better for innovation, better for users, and better for the world. Follow for daily AI news as this story unfolds and shapes the future of technology itself.